Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back. My name is Taylor. I am the owner, maker, and crocheter behind Brighter Days. Today, I didn't have a video to post, and it's actually much later in the evening than I even wanted to record this. But to give myself something to post to where hopefully YouTube loves me because I keep posting and they push out my content, I'm going to be doing a little chatty video of some of my tips and tricks for markets. As somebody who has been doing markets for, I think, going on 3 years now, if not 3 years now, somewhere around there. I feel like I can give a couple good tips and tricks. I'm obviously still not the best at markets, but good enough, I guess. Anyway, we are gonna just chit chat while while I crochet. We're gonna be making this pattern, free pattern on Instagram. Um, I just wanted to start it off simple with one that you will hear in almost anyone, which is get a credit card reader. Anything, you can get the free one through Square if you sign up. And obviously, yes, they're going to take a small fee, but it is so worth it to be able to get all the sales that you would miss out on for the people who don't carry cash or maybe don't have Cash App, Venmo, whatever it is you accept. So I just highly, highly recommend getting a card reader. And on that same like payment method, get something to keep your change in. I know a lot of people recommend a cash box, but I personally recommend a fanny pack. Put a little cute picture of me wearing mine at one of my markets. Cutie butt. But because I like having my money on me, I feel safer that way. I feel like it's less likely to get stolen. But anything, you can use a cash box, a fanny pack, a purse, just something. Um, And then moving on from that, one second. Yeah. Another thing is I would recommend Velour Lynx tablecloths. I feel like they make your setup look so much nicer because chances are you're going to have something to put under your table, whether it's totes, bags, whatever. And so if you're going to put, extra stuff or whatever under your table, the floor length tablecloths come in clutch. Like they just make it look so much nicer. I'm currently using spandex ones like this, but where I'm planning on mostly doing indoor markets for the upcoming future, I think I want to switch to ones like these. They are also still spandex, but they're flowy. I will say the ones like I have, the ones that strap under the table, they are really, really good. Itchy nose, I'm sorry. For outdoor markets, because in case gusts of wind or stuff like that, your tablecloth won't be flapping all over the place. It'll be sitting still. I just personally hate having to bend over and put on all the little leggies. Like it just too much work. Anyway, um, but just any floor lengths, and don't be afraid to start off with something a little rough. A couple of my first setups were using not a tablecloth, a sheet, like a flat sheet. Yeah. So anything really. Just I like that if it goes to the floor. That's a tip. That's a trick. Sorry. Along the same lines of your display, obviously tablecloth. Um, get vertical displays. Add some height to your table because if everything is just laying flat on your table, it is not going to look as appealing. People aren't going to be able to notice it from kind of further away, especially if people are in your booth. It's just not as nice. And you don't necessarily have to get like specifically for this type of whatever display, if that makes sense. Like a bunch of my displays, like my little steps that I use, these And then my little gold baskets that I use, these, I got those at TJ Maxx in the like spice rack section. They're both, I think, technically for like spices, but I use them for my displays. I would highly, highly recommend looking at TJ Maxx, Ross, and then of course Amazon. Those are some of the best places to look, in my opinion. Um, but you need to add some height. You need to and going on more, especially if you're a beginner. If you are looking to start doing markets and you're maybe looking at this for help on starting your first one, do not be afraid to start small. Get one table. There's no shame in that. This, we're talking about the tablecloth. Oh, this is one of my first setups. Before I even crocheted. It was whenever I just had some Squishville keychains that I made. Stabbed a hole through them, turned them into keychains, and earrings. And I had one table with a tablecloth over it. A little bit later, I was able to move to this. I got a second table and the nice spandex tablecloths. And I learned to crochet by this point. I have a couple crochet, like I have one small crochet table and then one table of majority earrings. And then I was able to move on to this. Another table, third table, also with the spandex tablecloth. And I have just kept growing and growing, buying different displays, stuff as I go, because it's best to get money from your business to put back into it. Like set up that first one with one table with all that, and then that money you make off that market, buy your second table, and so on and so forth. You don't have to go out and buy 3 tables with tablecloths, 6, 7 displays from Amazon. Like, you do not have to dive head in. You can dip your toes in first, if that makes any sense. And I'm really hoping that you cannot hear this TV. It's so loud. But anyway, moving on to another one. I would recommend. I'm drawing a blank. I'm trying to think. What was my other tips and tricks? Oh, if you crochet, bring some crochet with you, because it's so much easier to like let people see that it truly is handmade, I guess. Like when they see me sitting here doing this, first off, I get compliments. They're like, "That's so cool," blah blah blah. Could never learn that, blah blah blah, whatever. And also it lets other crocheters know that I do crochet this, because it is a very big market right now to just buy crochet products for really cheap off like Temu or other websites like that, and then go to a market and sell them for like quadruple what they paid. But anyway, so I just like to bring it. I feel like it makes me also look kind of busy and into my business, if that makes sense. I don't know what the next round is, so we're gonna set this to the side. One second. All right, sorry, I just had to cough, and also I looked at what the next rounds are. So there. I just lost my whole train of thought now, though. What were we talking about? I don't even remember. You'll probably think I'm crazy. Oh, bringing the crochet to the market. But it's not something that is mandatory, especially like for me, some markets, I don't even get to touch it because I have to bring my youngest son with me to all my markets. And sometimes he ain't feeling them. He won't let me put him down. And I can't crochet while holding the baby because he will try to eat it. But anyway, moving on from that tip, which that's like a little tip, I guess. Like it's not like a you have to do this to be successful at markets because you don't. Another tip, get a wagon. Go to Walmart, get one of those little $40, $50 wagons that claps up, fold open. It will make your life a million times easier with setup and tear down, especially if it is one of those where you can't like drive right up to your spot to unload everything. I'm very grateful the next market I'm doing is like that. But normally, like my ones in my mall, you can't drive up to your spot. It's in the mall. So you're walking in and out a bunch. And that wagon saves the day. W. So I would definitely recommend one of those, especially once your setup starts getting larger, when you have 3 tables and bags or totes full of stuff and all that. Wagon. I'm trying to remember what all I said in the last. I actually made this video a few hours ago, and then my little cheapy mic died halfway through it. And so I'm like trying to remember everything that I said. Oh, I do know that I said this is whatever you do, but obviously, like when referring to it, I'm going to refer to crochet because that's what I do. But whether it's digital art, whether it's knitting or painting or whatever, bring new stuff. I'm not gonna lie, you will always catch me with Mabel chickens and axolotls and little leggy froggies and bees, my little mini ones, stuff like that. Those are great sellers. I'm gonna keep them until they are not great sellers. But I also try to make sure that I bring just random new patterns. I personally would rather bring 10 like 10 singular items of different patterns than 5 of one pattern and 5 of another, because I feel like it adds so much variety to your table and just brings in different people. Like just because one person likes chickens, that does not mean the next person will. So it is always good to rotate a lot of your inventory and bring new stuff. Like just right here next to me, which first off, this that I'm working on, I've never made before. I finished 2 of these. I've never brought these before. I know that a lot of people do make these and they're pretty, but I have never brought them. So I'm going to bring a couple. I like their little tentacles. But Shrek. No, I ain't never seen nobody around me bring Shrek because there is a lot of crochet artists around me, fellow ones. W though, I love to see other people doing it, but I want to stand out. I want to Shrek. I ain't never seen none of them bring Shrek. Um, this is another new one that this next market is going to be its debut. This little mousy. I love it. I want to make a brown one too. Another new thing that's coming to its first market, little flower guys. Like I try to make new stuff because that's what people like. Like if people have been to your booth before, a couple markets ago, and then they come to your booth again and they're like, saw this last time. They're probably not gonna buy nothing. They're gonna want something new. Mix it up, zhuzh it up, stand out. Stand out. And on that same note, areas are different, but in my area, 90% of what I sell is my $6 items and my $12 items, and a little bit of the in between, but like 15 and under. That is the go-to price range of what people are mostly going to pay, especially because a lot of people have, a couple kids, and if they're going to get each of their kids something, they're not going to buy each of them $45, cows or whatever. But always make sure you bring larger items because that's normally what draws people in to my booth. Like, I think the most expensive item that I have brought has been $50, and I do want to make like a big show stopping. Like, it might be a couple $100 and it might never sell, but it'll be like oh my gosh, let's go look at that item. But I'm kind of too lazy because I feel like it'll take forever. But whatever. But always bring larger items. Like my cows are $45. And I have been to a few markets where I don't sell a single one, but I've been to markets where I've sold three. It's one of those things that whether they sell or not, they bring people in. Like people are like, oh, let's go look at that cow. And then they're like, oh, $45, maybe not. But oh, look, there's this chicken for 12. We'll get the chicken. You know what I mean? So you always want to make sure that you do bring larger items, even if you're really not sure they're going to sell. They might just draw people in. And once somebody gets in your booth, you're more likely to get a sale than if they just walk by. Um, what other tips? What other tips? What other tips? I can't even go back and listen to my old video because it's muted. Anyway, sorry. Bring new stuff, tablecloths, card reader, bringing stuff slowly. That might be all for now. I can't think of anything else right now. This is something I didn't even say in the last video, but I just thought of it. Always dress comfy but cute, if that makes sense. Like, you don't have to get all dolled up to go to a market. I have went a lot of the times. My go-to is an athletic skirt with whether it be a tank top or a t-shirt. Like in that picture I showed previously, that's like a go-to market outfit for me. That, or if it's like a little cooler, some nice black yoga pants with a nice, shirt. Sometimes jeans, not normally though, because I'm not a jean girly pop. Well, actually, I am, but not for some of these markets are 6, 7, 8 hours of just sitting or standing there. So you want to be comfortable but cute. You know what I mean? You don't want to just be all I don't want to be all dolled up. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm lazy. And like I said, I got a baby. One of the last times I wore my black leggings, he threw up all the way down my leggings. It was just a line. But I still want to be comfortable. I just be yapping too much about each of these tips. Like I give you a little tip, and then I'm like, about stuff y'all probably don't even care about. Y'all here to learn tips, and I'm over here talking about my baby. Anyway, I do think that might be all the tips for now. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can leave a comment of when your first market was, or if you have any other questions, you can leave them and I'll try to answer them. Like I said, I would not consider myself like A tier at markets, but maybe a solid B tier, That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, I love and appreciate you guys so much. This is honestly an L video if I'm being for real. But I feel like I need to post something because I feel like if I stick to my Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos, that YouTube will like me more and push me out to more people. And that's what I'm really hoping for. I need to get on more videos. But because I'm kind of behind, that's why I'm recording this on the spot at 3 o'clock. But anyway, love you guys, mean it. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully on Monday if I have anything to post. I'm not sure. I might figure something out. We don't know. Anyway,